Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
Hello, and welcome to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay and choo-choo.
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you so much for joining us, and all aboard the murder train. Choo-choo indeed. Let's get it on. We have an absolutely crazy episode today. That's all I can say. It's groundhog for breakfast level insane. So
terrific.
Wow. Quickly at the top here, just want to say thanks for everything you guys do for us. Everybody out there, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get everything, your merchandise, your tickets to live shows.
Right.
New Orleans coming up in July. There are tickets left for that show. Get your tickets right now.
Get after it.
Get them.
Let's
go. And also Milwaukee in August or September. September. Milwaukee, we're at the Pabst. It's a huge place. Get your tickets. Giant. Fill it up. Let's do this. And Patreon this week, by the way, patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody $5 or above, you get access to everything we make bonus-wise. Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder. This week we're going to talk about Doc Ellis for Crime and Sports, who's a major league pitcher who took a bunch of acid and then threw a no-hitter while very much tripping his balls off. So that's awesome. And then we're going to talk on Small Town Murder all about things that came out of John Wayne Gacy's mouth. And it is, oh boy. That encompasses Conversations with a Killer, the John Wayne Gacy tapes, the documentary, and also this book I read by his lawyer where really there's so many crazy quotes from John Wayne Gacy in there.
Never a more sympathetic character.
So it's crazy. Yeah. So get that all, patreon.com/crime and sports right now, and that'll be fun. Anyway, let's do this. I think it's time, everybody.
Let's go.
To sit back, clear the lungs, wherever you are, your car, your treadmill. Probably not the airport, but other places. No. Sit back and shout, "Shut up!
Shut up! And give me murder!"
All right, let's do this, Jimmy.
All right, let's run.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Okay.
All right, we're going somewhere we have not been since December of 2018.
My Christ.
Long time.
How is Hawaii?
Wyoming is where we're going, babe. We've been to Hawaii. We went to Hawaii 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah, it was just recently, yeah.
No, this is Wyoming we're going to. Mm-hmm. Now, the town, problem is, I'm going to call it Hillsdale. That's where I'm going to give you the stats. But Hillsdale wasn't even a town until, like 2013. But our story takes place in the 80s. They're
still making towns.
In Wyoming, it's around Cheyenne. Cheyenne is the city there. It's the capital of Wyoming, and there's no suburbs to it. There's no small towns around it. The capital only has 65,000 people in it, and that's the most populous city in the whole state.
Really?
Absolutely, Cheyenne. So there's nothing really around it. So when our story took place, it was just kind of unincorporated land out here. Just if you were in Cheyenne and you looked to the east, you'd go, yonder, and you'd point out there, and that would be
Wyoming,
where this is.
So interesting.
This is going to happen. We're going to call it Hillsdale because Hillsdale has statistics, and we're only a couple of them. And then, but it happened right where Altvan is right now. ALTVAN. Altvan, which sounds like a bunch of gay teenagers doing a show going from town to town in the Altvan. Like in the 80s, that's what they'd call it. You know what I mean? When this happened, you know what I'm saying?
In a van with a teardrop window.
Yeah, when our story happened, and they come out in full costume and put on a hell of a show, and then go to the next town. That's
fascinating.
So as of 2010, this area here, this Hillsdale area, had a population of 47.
People altogether.
People, yeah, and way more cows and stuff though than that. But 47
47.
People. 47. There's a lot of big ranches around this area.
That's a quick day for the census, man.
That's it. Everybody! He just stands and yells. 1, 2.
Let's take a break.
All right. This town is at 5,600 feet in elevation, too, so it's up there.
Wow.
It's a mile-high kind of a joint here.
Yeah.
Alcoa, which is kind of right where it was, seems to have no people, where these places like Altvan used to be 20 minutes away from anything in the city, whereas now it's kind of the edge of the city. That's kind of where it's happening. Does any of this matter? No. It's the middle of nowhere east of Cheyenne. Who gives a shit? So there you go.
It matters to me. It's fucking riveting.
It's riveting, but I mean, really, there's nothing here. It's just a lot of ranches.
This is amazing.
It's so weird.
I want to take a day and just walk it.
It's so big. It's so big. You'll see these little specks on the map, and you're like, oh, those are 40 miles away from each other. And there's just nothing in between them. Holy crap.
Holy shit.
It's far. Yeah, you need a vehicle for this place. It's not a...
Awesome. I want to do it.
No walking tours. It's pretty. There's not a lot going on there. This was just a railroad place is basically all it was to begin with. This is stops for people to take a leak. Engineers need to take a leak, and here they are.
Sure.
All the people here, it was all agriculture and livestock. Tons of livestock.
Yeah.
Lots of, cattle and things of that nature. Other types of, I love this, the way this is stated from their site. Other types of animal husbandry also occurred.
What?
I know that's a thing, and I know what it is, but it sounds hilarious.
It is a thing? What's it a thing of?
I think that's breeding animals, but not.
Okay.
It sounds like you are personally getting your genetics in the mix when it says husbandry.
Don't ever call it that.
I pictured a man in a tuxedo marrying a goat in a very formal ceremony with a preacher and the
very nice veil on.
Mom's crying and shit, The whole thing. Yeah, the veil. That's the key.
Spell that "you" different when I say I love you.
Oh, man, absolutely. This place, a lot of German immigrants in this joint. That's how it started. Right? Yeah, that's how people, I guess it started. That's where the farming started. Very quickly review here. 3 stars. Laramie County can be beautiful. However, I think the community and culture are a bit withdrawn. It's hard to get into anything or meet anyone, especially if you've just moved here. Yeah, because it's a small town in the middle of nowhere. I don't care if it's the capital or not. Yeah, there's nobody there.
There's nobody to meet.
The quick thing to do here is Super Day. Okay?
What?
Super Day, it's called. The headliner here is Wilderness. I don't know what that is, but Wilderness will rock out from 2 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. They're going to rock. MISS. They're going to rock the fuck out, but only for an hour and 15 minutes. There's a very tight.
All they got in them.
It's awesome. Wilderness pulls people in with the palpable passion of its performances, which more than measure up to the magnetism of its music. Someone had fun with that. Also, youth sports, including sports demos, skills / activities presented by City Recreation volunteer coaches, Cheyenne Taekwondo, Cheyenne Soccer Club, Cheyenne Lacrosse Club, 307 Wrestling, South High School cheerleaders, Cheyenne Gymnastics, and University of Wyoming athletes, and more.
They put on demos?
They put on demos. They're going to come out and show you what they do.
Okay.
Come on, kids. Wrestle around in the middle of Main Street. There we go. Terrific.
We're not being paid for this.
But the opener for Wilderness is, what is this? Saint Nomad. There.
Oh,
yeah. At noon.
What do they do?
At high noon, they're going to take the stage. You know, that's where all the best rocking happens, at high noon. They're an alt pop band of brothers who grew up on the road.
Okay. They shouldn't even be awake yet.
No, what the hell are they doing? Yeah, they're going to come out all bleary-eyed and shit, huh?
Stinking of whiskey.
Still with crust on their dicks. It's not good. It's disgusting.
Each other's.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't say where it came from. I wasn't going to say. Anyway, so that said, I think it's time to talk about a murder. You get it. It's the middle of nowhere out here.
It sucks. There's no entertainment. No. It's just stare at the rocks and cows.
Sure is pretty.
On the husbandry.
I mean, it's pretty. I mean, marry a sheep. It's good stuff. But where this took place is like I said, middle of nowhere, a lot of dirt, just nothing going on. You know, picture when a car drives away, you see that dust cloud for 3 miles type of deal.
And you can hear the aerodynamics of the car for 12 miles.
There's always that going on.
You can hear the rubber hum.
Is there a ceiling fan out here? It always sounds like there's a ceiling fan on when I'm outside.
What is that hum? Oh, that's that car about 27 miles out. It'll be here in a little bit.
Hold on, it's coming. So let's talk about a murder, shall we? Because this is wild. Okay, let's do this. Now, I'm going to do it a little bit different than I normally do it, only because it's honestly the only way to do it. Because to bring these people up as they come up would be... It would just be a waste of time, and it would interrupt the story because it's so crazy, these people's names. So
terrific.
Let's give you the cast of characters right away.
Let's do it.
Let's right off the bat here. These are the people we're going to deal with, and we'll call them by their nicknames because that's really what everyone calls them. Okay. Starts off with Lawrence DeGroff. His nickname is Diggy.
Oh.
Diggie. Diggy.
Okay.
Sup, Diggy. There's Diggy Smalls is the illest. So he's here. Next up, John Bulldog Miller.
Bulldog and Diggy.
Diggy and Bulldog are coming. Now, they're going to be our main...
Go on.
They're our main participants here. Bulldog and Diggy here. So they're right away. They're the stars of the show. They're on the marquee.
It sounds like a column in the funny papers every Sunday.
Bulldog and Diggy? Yeah, absolutely. And they come and steal meth from each other, and then, somebody gets... Somebody gets fucking, run over by an 18-wheeler by accident.
Yeah, every Sunday I look forward to the purple drink hijinks they get into.
Oh, well, they get into some hijinks, let me tell you something. And they are joined in these hijinks by the supporting cast of characters here, which, like any great film or TV show, it's not just the main characters. The supporting cast is everything.
Yeah, it matters to the plot.
Yeah, we were talking about The Sopranos. Would that be the same without Paulie Walnuts and it's everything.
You need Chrissy and his fucking meth addiction.
Yes, you need these things. You can have a house. Whatever. You have a house, but you need a foundation. It's got to stand.
Yeah.
There's load bearing fucking poles here. So that's what these people are. Let's talk about some of these beams. And they are beams of light, really, on all of us. First off, Leland Yosemite Brown.
Hell yeah.
I'm Leland Brown. They call me Yosemite. Now,
a small, portly fellow with the big mustache.
I was going to say, it could go either way because Yosemite National Park in this area, Yosemite, he could be from that area, or he could. His antics could remind folks of Yosemite Sam. Either way, that's amazing. I want to know which one. I hope it's Yosemite Sam. I hope he's just always
I want that. Yeah.
Extra angry. Oh, Jesus, goddamn sons of bitch bastards.
Tarnation.
What in Who in tarnation took my methamphetamines? Whoop, whoppin', whoppin'.
Incredible.
So, Leland Yosemite Brown, followed up by Robert Davis. Now, that's not Robert. He's not going to go by Robert Davis. You know what his nickname is?
Bobby Brown.
Robert Davis? No. His nickname is Troll.
Wow.
Troll. Robert.
Not bad.
Troll Brown. Now, so is it his hair? Is he a short? Does he look like a troll, or does he just have tall hair? Which one? I'd like to know. Tall, pliable hair. What's his?
This is incredible.
Or is he hideous? So,
or is he that animal, the troll animal from our childhood that used to break the chains? Remember that thing that had like the chains that were on its wrists?
Yeah,
and break them apart.
Yeah.
Wasn't that thing called Troll?
I don't know if
wasn't
that
was a troll.
Because the troll dolls were with the hair.
Those two. Yeah.
And
but the little troll thing that had like the chains that you could
sounds.
break on
I don't know what that was called
I forget
though.
what that thing was called.
It might have been Troll.
It was a troll of some sort, wasn't it?
I mean, it looked like a troll. If it didn't call itself a troll, I feel like it's false advertising anyway. So it was a troll. It really doesn't have any bearing on the story, but either way,
it doesn't.
Either way, it's he's Robert Troll Davis. So to go over. Again, just to review so far what we have. There's more, don't worry. But
okay, I can't wait.
So, what are you finding here? Are you finding?
I found fucking nothing.
Okay.
I typed in
we'll check it
80s
out after
troll
the show.
doll breaks chains, and it's just a bunch of the punk rock dolls showed up.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. That's a troll doll. So right,
troll doll with the fucking mohawk.
We'll come back to that at the end of the show.
All right.
So we'll figure that out. All right. So far we have Bulldog, Diggy, Yosemite, and Troll. That's our cast so far. They are joined by John Casselder, Kasselder. Casselder. His nickname, Lizard.
Yeah. That one's the most boring one.
Lizard. I'm Lizard. These guys aren't picking their own nicknames for the most part, I feel like. No one wants to be Troll or Lizard, probably. I imagine.
Probably not.
Probably not. And then rounding out the cast, well, and nickname-wise, I love that. God damn it. Whoever writes Wyoming's court documents, by the way, good job. They
put all this in there?
Oh, it's hilarious. They put like little commentary in there. Like it's hilarious. They're snotty and snarky. They're so funny.
Awesome.
And really good stuff. Followed up here with Richard Leonard. Old Dick Leonard. That sounds pretty basic, right?
What's he go by?
Dick Leonard? Well, he's got the best nickname of all. He may have chosen it himself. Chainsaw.
Hell yeah.
Chainsaw.
Do these guys ride motorcycles?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah,
Are you kidding me? What do you think they're doing, Jimmy? No, they all have Chevy Malibus, and they just drive and they have a crafting circle that they work on in the weekends.
There's a Jetta involved, maybe.
Yeah, someone's got
a Dodge Reliant K.
Chainsaw drives the Jetta. He likes the German cars. He thinks they're nice. So, and then oh my God, and then there's a lady in the group as well. She's I guess the mama of the group here, or she's somebody's girlfriend, quote old lady. I assume they're calling her probably, right?
Okay.
Yeah. She gets called an old lady about 45 times a day. This is Sherry Newell is her name, Newell. And in the court document, it says, because it lists everybody with their nickname, and then it says Sherry, in parentheses, no nickname, Newell.
She's not part of the gang yet.
There's so many nicknames that they have to tell you when someone doesn't have one that, don't worry, we didn't just leave it out. She doesn't have one, which is amazing. So we have Bulldog, Diggy, Yosemite, Troll, Lizard, Chainsaw, and Sherry. That's our gang.
Sherry.
And Sherry. That's the gang.
What's your favorite nickname, James? Is it Chainsaw?
I mean, if you're going to be like, if you're going for like a badass biker nickname, Chainsaw is pretty good. I mean, it doesn't get better than Chainsaw, although Bulldog denotes some form of tenacity, aggressiveness, I feel like.
I like Diggy.
Diggy's okay. Diggy sounds like you are like worked in a mine or something, and they just call you Diggy. You know?
Yeah. Or they gave you a nickname, but they don't take you very seriously because it's a goofy one.
Well, that's the thing too. That's the interesting thing here. In the court documents, I'm going to give you this, which is hilarious. This is a paragraph from the court documents. Remember I said when they're snotty? This is good. Quote, the principal actors, they mean participants for people who don't understand how court documents are worded. The principal actors were unproductive members of society, and both were recipients of the largesse of the federal government. Diggy's entitlement checks were not insubstantial. He's got like some sort of trust or something through a conservatorship. Diggy gets checks every month.
He gets the most?
Yeah, he gets checks from like not through the federal government. I think he gets some benefits from the government, but he also has some other source of income, and he gets a check every month for shit. So Diggy's entitlement checks were not insubstantial, and some of his friends with strange-sounding names were wont to take advantage of him and help redistribute his wealth. So they go on to say, Diggy might be characterized as, quote, the goose who laid the golden egg.
Diggy's our guy.
Diggy's our guy. So apparently Bulldog, Yosemite, Troll, Lizard, and Chainsaw, and Sherry are all taking advantage of Diggy. Diggy's funding the party for these group of scumbags.
Diggy's the star, and they're all the hangers-on.
Kind of, but they don't treat him like the star. They treat him like the guy who pays the bills, and they're like, let's go, Diggy, come on, pony up for this fucking beer. Like, you get the most money, so.
Come on, Diggy, we're hungry.
That's it. Yeah, that's how this, like he's their dad or something, except they also kind of abuse him. Now, as of July of 1985, Diggy is living with two other guys. He's got a couple of roommates outside of this group. His roommates' names are, quote, Tramp and Stash. Those are his names. Tramp is one, and Stash. So Tramp is obvious.
Now Stash is my favorite.
Stash. That means like, I don't think it's about his mustache. I think that's about he's always weed. Holding. He's holding at all times. What's up,
That's
Stash?
Why it's so great. It's either the mustache or the weed, depending.
You never know. Tramp, I feel like he's everywhere.
He's awful.
He came in on he fell off a train when he was drunk, and he just got off and was like, I guess I live here now.
He smells bad.
Oh, Tramp smells terrible.
He's the worst, yeah.
So Diggy, Tramp, and Stash all have a wonder if it's like Atlantis down here. It's beautiful. It's fantastic there.
It's like Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah, Diggy, Tramp, and Stash.
Tramp and Nash.
Diggy, Tramp, and Stash. That's the band, everybody.
The lesser-known Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Well, they didn't make it. That's the thing. They used to open for Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but they broke up. Diggy, Tramp, and Stash. Well, if they broke up, it's because Tramp and Stash would spend Diggy's money on him all the time.
Oh.
They made Tramp pay for. They made Diggy. It's hard. Oh man, Tramp, Diggy, Stash. Tramp and Stash made Diggy pay for everything. He would have to pay the bills. He'd have to pay. He'd have to buy the food and all that. They just make him do it, and he'd do it.
And Diggy had enough.
And Diggy kind of had enough at that point, so he decides that he's going to move out. So Diggy moves out at the end of July of 1985, frees himself of the shackles of Tramp and Stash, the taskmasters they are, and moves in instead with Bulldog and his girlfriend. Okay. So
what year is this?
85.
Okay.
85. All a bunch of bikers in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming, living a lawless life, just drinking all day long. Shall we describe a day in the life of Bulldog?
fuck?
You want to know what Bulldog does all day? The court document describes it as this, quote, a typical, quote, down-home day in the life of Bulldog described in his brief. All right, this is what he does. This is from the mouth of Bulldog himself. This is what he does. And corroborated with others. He would get up at 8 a.m., which I'm surprised at, honestly.
That's early.
That's early. I don't know what's up with that, but I guess, maybe shit's different out there in the plains. I don't know how it works, or in the mountains, or wherever the fuck they are. He would have breakfast and then ride his motorcycle till about 11 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Go out on the open road. Wyoming is wide open, and it really feels that way. So
you can hit a buffalo, though, and that's over for you.
That's frightening. Yeah, the whole entire state is fenced on the highway because otherwise there'll just be buffalo standing in the road.
That is wild.
It's a scary place, though, because you'll stop somewhere for, like, gas. And basically, when you stopped for gas, if it started like snowing really hard right then, they could just close the highway and now you live at that gas station for a week. And there's no other way to fucking get anywhere. That's it. That's all there is.
Wow.
There's no towns to like drive into. You're on a gas station on the highway and, pull up a fucking sleeping bag because that's where you live now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So he'd ride his motorcycle till about 11. Then he'd stop at the Eagle's Nest, which is a bar. Obviously, for a few beers. We're talking 5, 6.
Oh, boy.
For lunch, liquid lunch. He's doing well.
And then get back on his bike?
Well, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to take a cab home and come pick it up? Oh, I've had a couple too many, guys. Oh, somebody take my keys. His name is Bulldog, and he hangs out with Lizard and Yosemite and Chainsaw. He hangs out with a man named Chainsaw and Sherry. He's capable of anything. So he goes there for 5, 6 beers. Then he'd go out to ride his motorcycle for a few more hours after he's nice and refreshed with 5, 6 beers.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Do they call her Sherry because they all use her?
I think so, yeah. She's in every meal. It's possible. Now she's somebody's girlfriend in here, but who knows what the arrangement is with these people, because they just take Diggy's money out of his pocket. So I mean, why not just I'm sure there's involuntary sexual activity going on left and right in this little encampment.
When everybody involved has a nickname, there's a problem. Unless you're like Baca,
and none of them are like positive either. They're all Tramp and Stash and the Hellhound and fucking Face Stabber, Grandma Raper. This is Bill Grandma Raper Mahoney.
Hellhound.
This is my buddies, Hellhound, Grandma Raper. This is.
We're waiting for Kid Fister. He'll be here in a minute.
But that's how they are. Back in the day, especially Reed Hunter Thompson, Hell's Angels, the guys' nicknames are all, one Terry the Tramp. Charlie the Child Molester is one of the guys' names. It's the guy's name. That's what they call him. To his face, and that's his nickname. It's on his jacket and shit. The Child Molester.
Just because of the CH?
I don't know I'm sure he actually probably liked 14-year-old girls, and they thought that was funny because they didn't fucking care. They were a bunch of criminals at the time.
So gross.
So he would go after a 6-pack. He'd get back on his motorcycle. I guarantee you there's not a helmet even thought of in this scenario either.
For sure. No way.
Bulldog has never had a helmet on his gloriously bald head, I'm sure. And he does. He has a big, round, fat, bald head. Bulldog.
Does he?
Yeah, it's exactly what you'd imagine a guy named Bulldog's head to look like. Looks like Michael Chiklis on the fucking whatever that is, the Shield. That's what his head looks like.
Super swollen,
but fat. Fatter than Michael
like
Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis if he's been dead for 4 days.
Well, it's Michael Chiklis before he thought he was tough on the Shield, when he used to just be fat and have like fuzzy peach hair, baby hair on his head.
Baby duck hair.
Yeah. He's a pudgy guy with baby duck hair. So he'd ride his motorcycle then till about 6 p.m.
What a life.
It's like a job. Like he left at 9 and he comes home at 6 with a lunch in between. Like, well, that's my shift of riding my motorcycle. Which I guess if you're in a biker gang, what else? You have to be seen riding a motorcycle. What else do you really have going on?
Yeah. Got to parade it around.
You got to show everybody. He's still in that. Okay. He's still with them. Good. That's excellent. I see it.
Still with them.
Then he would, at 6 p.m., obviously, he's had 5, 6 beers, and he didn't eat breakfast at 8 a.m. That's the last time he ate. So He'd go home, or he'd go ride his motorcycle, or he'd have some dinner at 6 p.m. Then he would go ride his motorcycle again.
Wow.
More motorcycle riding, and then go to either the Mayflower, which is another bar, or the Eagle's Nest, again, back there, where he would drink then whiskey. He'd add whiskey to his beer regimen, and he'd drink there till about closing time, which is 2 a.m. And then
that is a typical day?
Well, not yet. Let's round it out, Jimmy. From there, he would ride his motorcycle home as well after drinking beer and whiskey since about 8 o'clock. For about 6 hours, he drinks, beer, shot in a beer, and then he's driving his motorcycle home with no helmet. So incredible that he's alive, first of all.
True.
Bulldog. So here we go. Things go well for a couple months. Diggy's living with Bulldog and Bulldog's girl and Ms. Bulldog, as we know her. And things are he's still paying for shit and still giving them money for partying and all that sort of thing. But I guess it's not to the abusive extent that Tramp and Stash were taking advantage of him.
Okay.
It's a shame.
It's a little less.
It's a little less. So on October 2nd, 1985, Bulldog does his thing. He wakes up, has breakfast. He's, riding his motorcycle around, shit like that. It's on this day, though, that Diggy DeGroff, we'll call him Diggy. Diggy DeGroff had just received a check, and all of his friends were at the house here, and they were like, ho, Diggy got paid. Hell yeah,
Diggy's balling.
Party on Diggy is what they all say. Fuck yeah. And Diggy, he gets it. It's a $1,400 monthly stipend check he's getting. Which, in 1985, in the middle of nowhere, wasn't too shabby.
That will stretch. Man.
Yeah, he could, if he lived in some trailer somewhere, it was probably $100 a month, if that.
Hell yeah!
So he's
in Wyoming with $1,400 a month. Mom rocks an ack with a mink on her back.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it.
Diggy's doing great.
Diggy Smalls.
Money, green leather sofas, James.
That's it. Got 2 rides, a limousine with a chauffeur. He's got it all, Jimmy. He's got it all. I'll tell you right now.
Champagne when they thirsty.
Well, I don't think these people would drink champagne for any reason. No, they want something with a little more kick to it, I think, than champagne.
Coors heavy.
They'd spit it out. They're like, put whiskey in mine. I want champagne and whiskey. Dom and Jack, please.
This Coors is spoiled.
Oh, Christ. So they have a party, obviously.
Yeah.
And the alcohol, there's shitloads of booze. Everybody's partying, drinking. It's all on Diggs.
Cup overfloweth.
That's what it is. What do you want? Yeah. He's going to take care of his people. That's the thing. Oh, yeah. He smokes skunks with his peeps all day. Spread love. It's the Wyoming way. Spread love. It's the Cheyenne way. You know how it is.
Oh, Diggy. He blew it.
Yeah. Well, he moved.
He knew
he
it.
did.
Yeah.
He did move, so he can't say same number, same hood. It's all good because he moved away from Tramp and Stash. So that's all right.
He did.
But this is
don't call this number.
No, this is a biker rap video. There's booze and So as the party's going on, Lizard and Diggy. Lizard and Diggy now, Lizard Casselder, that is, and Diggy Smalls is the illest.
So great.
They get involved in, I don't know if it started out kidding or if they got in an argument, but at some point they're exchanging blows with each other. They're throwing punches. And people are, but this is a bunch of drunk bikers. So, punching is also for fun.
They're missing.
So, you know what I'm saying?
That's how they say hello.
Yeah, it's hey, pow. And they have pile-ups and shit. There's all sorts of crazy shit these guys are doing. They're driving drunk with no helmet at 90 miles an hour in the dark. So they don't really have a lot of I would say affection for
common sense,
affection for judgment or human life or their own mortality. Hey everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So... while this is all going on, apparently Lizard gets the upper hand against Diggy and slams Diggy's head into the wall.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Okay, putting a big dent in the wall, actually. Mm-hmm. Dented the wall with Diggy's head. Right. So Diggy's okay, though, I guess. He's still, it didn't kill him or anything like that. I mean, this happens. Yeah. It happens from time to time. This is like noon, by the way. Imagine what this party's going to be like by midnight. Holy shit.
Oh, boy.
Wait till you hear what it's like by midnight. So now there's a girl named Sue at this point.
Of course there is.
There's a girl named Sue here at the party, and I love the way the court document puts it. Quote, exhibiting considerable foresight and good judgment, Sue hustled Lizard away from the party.
She left with him.
Lizard was getting out of hand. When you're slamming the guy who's paying for all this his head into the wall, it's like, hey, Come on, Lizard, let's go outside and... let's go show me your pistons again. It's just.
Heard you got some more chrome on the scooter. Let's go have a look.
You sit on the bike and I'll blow you under the open sky. What do you say? I hear it's beautiful up here. So that's what's happening. And Sue gets Lizard out of the party. So Diggy, he continues partying. I mean, get your head run into the wall once in a while. What the fuck? That's what happens when you hang out with guys named Bulldog and Chainsaw.
There's going to be some dented drywall.
It happens. You're not going to keep drywall whole at all. You just got to buy it in bulk and keep it out back and get ready to change panels out.
All those holes, we call that texture around here.
Yeah, it's just texture, bud. We just stick a bunch of plaster on it and shit and just put a bunch of caulk on it, smooth it out.
Don't worry. We'll mud it shut. It's
all good. That's right. I got a bunch of toothpaste. That should fill it. So people do that with like pinholes. That's like a thing people do to hide thumbtack holes and shit, stuff like that. Picture, so they're like, I don't know, I'll just smear it on there.
Why's your house smell like crest?
Man, it smells great in here. Somebody just pine saw this son of a bitch or what?
No, I just ran down to the Costco and got a pallet of toothpaste to fix that hole from the door.
That there's Aquafresh. So the drinking continues. At some point, Diggy announces to the group that I have to throw up, everyone.
Okay.
Which, if you're an adult, unless you're going to throw up on someone or in their car, you don't need to announce it. Just go do it.
No,
it's on you.
Just go be shameful in the corner somewhere.
That's it. We don't care. So he goes to the bathroom to throw up. All right. Okay. So Diggy's in the bathroom. So next up, Yosemite here. Yosemite Brown, that is. Yosemite stops drinking for a minute, and he sits around for a second. He's kind of quiet. And then he just gets up, kind of just casually walks over to the bathroom where Diggy is and stabs Diggy a couple times with a buck knife.
What?
Out of nowhere, no beef. They haven't had any problems. He just decides I'm going to stab him a couple times with a buck knife. Now, not fatal wounds.
No?
Not like, didn't put
Just
it to the hilt or anything. Just a couple of like jabbing stab wounds with a buck knife, which is
like calling him a pussy for puking. Can't handle your booze.
I don't even
like that.
I assume probably everyone's going to throw up at some point today in this party. Yeah. Diggy's reaction was he said, "Ow!" That's literally what he said. "Ow!" So then Yosemite, who just stabbed him, goes in there, goes back to the drinking after that. Uh-huh. He just stabbed him and then went back to the party and said, just stab Diggy.
Why?
Just stab Diggy. So, there's that. He's in the bathroom, stabbed him up. And they were like, is he dead? And he's like, no, I just stabbed him a couple times. He's fine. So
just
then
2 jabs.
A couple of pow. Yeah, a couple of sticks with the buck knife. So at this point, Bulldog says to Yosemite, I can't believe I'm saying these words. Bulldog says to Yosemite, quote, "Well, you started it. You better finish it now."
Bulldog?
What? This is out of nowhere. There was not a big thing. They don't think like Diggy's telling like the cops something and he's like an undercover. Nothing. This is crazy. There's not a nowhere.
They're just being dicks to Diggy.
They're just being diggy dicks to Diggy. So, they go in there. Yosemite here goes to the bathroom and he's headed that way, mumbling something about fucking go stab Diggy again. Maybe I'll slit his throat. He's just mumbling drunkardly about that. So Yosemite returns and said, I stabbed Diggy again. He went in there, stabbed him up, came back to the party and was like, I got him again. That's good. So they just casually, everybody goes back to the party. Diggy's in the bathroom, presumably bleeding out from being stabbed.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. The conversation doesn't even go to like, what are we going to do now? They talk about, well, Diggy just got a check.
Uh-huh.
And he's still alive, right? And Yosemite's like, yeah, he's still alive in there. He's just, struggling. So they said, well, let's make Diggy sign the check over before he dies.
It's $1,400.
Let's make him sign this check before he dies, and that way we can cash it and keep this party going. So now Yosemite, Bulldog, and Troll has joined this.
Oh, Troll!
The forward party's involved here, and that's Troll's going to be involved in this. They go to where Diggy is just laying on the ground, bleeding out. So he's bleeding and moaning and help me, that sort of thing. And they go, Diggy, and he thinks maybe they're going to help him. And they whip out a check and they go, sign this check, endorse this check for me right now. And he's like, barely can do it. So they put the pen in his hand, put it to the paper, and make Diggy sign the check over. Okay.
Yeah.
So Diggy signs the check. The thing is, Diggy's covered in blood. He's been stabbed.
So now the check's got blood all over.
There's blood on the check. It's where he wrote his name, his finger rubbed on the corner of the check. There's blood on the check.
Of course.
So they're like, fuck, we can't it's going to look bad. We'll just put it that way.
Can't hand that to a bank teller.
We can't say, no. He gave this to us well before anything happened to him when his blood is literally on
all over the check.
This is bad.
This is literal blood money.
This is not good at all. And it's got to go through someone else. This is bad shit. Yeah. So they're like, fuck. So the three of these idiots, Bulldog, Troll, and Yosemite, sit down to the kitchen table to decide what to do, whether they can cash the check in this condition.
Okay.
How about no? I'll help you right now.
If you were a bank teller, would you do it? I don't know. You got to get the cool one.
They ain't going to notice, maybe. Maybe we'll spill some, Pepsi on top of it and rub it. No, they'll never know the difference. I spilled Pepsi on it. That's fine, right? They won't mind, I think, right?
Throw it in the washer, crinkle up real good, put it in a pocket real tight, and zip the pocket. You got some pants with zippers on them?
Oh, you know what? I like your zipper idea. Don't get me wrong.
Right?
But I'm thinking, now listen to hear me out now. What's the grossest thing anybody's going to not want to touch? For blood? Blood's on there.
Yeah,
What's even grosser than blood? Poop.
Cum.
Poop.
Oh, yeah.
Poop. What I'm going to do
Sorry, I was going way too far.
See, I'm going to get, well, that would just be like a glaze. It'd almost look like a lacquer, like I'm putting it on like a.
That might seal the blood in.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to seal it in, and then there's more DNA. I'm going to find me some poop, right? And I'm just going to smear it over that corner. What they're going to do is hold it by the other corner like it's, like it's just disease because it's poop.
Yeah.
It might be. So they're going to have
we can put cum over that.
to seal the poop on. Yes.
There
you know what? All right. See, this is why teamwork is important. This is good. All right. Let's go get lizard, troll, tramp, stash, and Yosemite, and we'll chainsaw and we'll talk about it.
We'll get a pair of each of their underwear, and we'll solve this problem.
And break. All right, then. My God. I'm going to put a net in the toilet and catch everyone's poop from now on. They'll flush it, but it ain't going nowhere.
I can't believe I said that.
So that's their idea. So they get Sherry, by the way. Sherry is Bulldog's girlfriend. No nickname, unfortunately. Yeah. So lame-ass Sherry with no nickname. She comes in, and she's like, listen, I guess because she's a woman, they're like, clean this check, they tell her. Okay?
Wash some shit.
Woman, wash some.
Useful.
Yeah, God damn it. Wash something, why don't you? So in the process of cleaning the check off, trying to get blood stains out of paper, which isn't going to happen, the check tore. It ripped because she scrubbed it too hard, I guess. She's probably using a Brillo pad, for Christ's sake. So the check is ripped, and they just toss it in the fireplace where there's a raging fire going on right now. So they just toss it in the fireplace. Ripped up check. Fuck, the check's gone.
What?
Yeah. Well, it's fucked now. We tried to. Once you get blood on it, and then you try to clean it and rip it, now it's over. How are you going to take that anywhere? So Bulldog's pissed off. He's like, God damn it, motherfucker! We were supposed to get money out of this guy. So he sends Sherry into the bedroom. He says, Sherry, go in the bedroom for a minute and just hang out down there. I don't want you to see what's about to happen. So Bulldog's super angry and goes over and stabs Diggy a couple of times. Diggy's still alive, so he stabs Diggy a few more times. God. Because he's mad at him because the check got blood on it. Now he can't cash it. Diggy, you fucking jerk, bleeding all over my check. That's actually your check.
Bleeding all over your check that I stole from you.
And we stabbed you, and we're the reason you're bleeding. Sorry. Yeah, great.
Stabbed him again.
Stabbed him more. So Diggy ends up dying about 9:15 is what everybody estimates.
Wow.
They just left Diggy there to die, okay? So he ends up in total having about 20 stab wounds. 20.
Jesus.
20. And they say any one of the main 20 would have been fatal. They're all brutal.
All of them were bad enough.
Oh, they're shanking him. After the initial couple stabs, they're real deep. Everyone's really hacking him up here. So Bulldog is like, well, what are we going to do now? We got a fucking dead Diggy over here. This is not good. So, I mean, we're going to make a song about it, and we'll steal a Sting sample, and it'll be fine. So Bulldog says, well, there's only one thing to do here. We don't want anyone to know who he is in case the body gets found, so we should chop his head and hands off, right?
Oh, my God, they're going so far.
To which everyone goes, well, yeah, clearly, obviously. We'll start there, and then we'll figure out where to get rid of this thing. So that's where they're all going to start. So what they do is they pull Diggy into the bathtub, so when they do this, the blood can go down the drain. This is experience here. This is what mob guys do back in the day. So now we don't know who, but it's down to two people. Either Yosemite or Troll hacked off the right arm. I'm going with Troll. I don't know why.
The whole arm?
Hacked it off. So there you go. Getting it off of there.
Yeah.
So then Bulldog calls for Sherry. Hey, Sherry, do me a favor. Go into town, okay? By the way, you need two things in town we need. Firewood, number one, and chainsaw. Not a chainsaw, Chainsaw Leonard. The man named Chainsaw. Which, if you want to dismember a body, who do you call, Jimmy?
Yeah. The guy named Chainsaw.
Guy named Chainsaw. It's perfect. It couldn't be any better. Now I know why he's called Chainsaw. I get it now. It's all makes sense.
Go get chainsaw and wood chipper and come on back to the house.
Yeah, come on. Well, they need firewood for the fire because they have a plan here. So she does. She picks up chainsaw. They stop at a store where they purchase some firewood. Sherry and Chainsaw return about 11 o'clock here.
Yeah.
And Chainsaw walks in. When he walks in, the first thing he sees is Troll kneeling by the fireplace, holding a butane torch, using it to burn something in the fireplace. It's a fireplace, but he's using a butane torch, okay?
Got it. Yeah.
So Chainsaw looked into the fireplace, and he saw what he describes as, quote, a human hand in there burning.
Oh, boy.
They're just putting the parts in the fireplace and burning them.
Stick of cedar, forearm. Stick
Forearm.
of cedar,
Well, yeah.
femur. Stick of cedar.
You got to, it's kindling.
shit.
You got to simulate kindling, Chet. You twist it.
Twist the fingers. Twist them together.
Well, fingers go down first, and then obviously arms on top of that, and then thighs on top of that. You build it, you know?
Fingers, toes, yeah.
You build it up like that. Everyone knows how you... This is crazy. By the way, not a good idea because you can't burn away a body with a house fire, with like a fireplace fire. You need accelerants. You got to get like... It's got to be like 1,600 degrees. You're not making that in a fireplace.
Even if you use the forearms and shins as a teepee, it's not worth it.
Not happening. It's you could do that, I'm sure. It's even if you had a pizza oven, it's not going to work, I don't think. It's going to be rough.
You got to get it real hot.
Real hot. So he then, Chainsaw, glances into the bathroom. Imagine walking into this. First thing you see is this guy, sup, Chainsaw? And he's burning a hand in the fire. Then you turn your head the other way, and you see in the bathroom where Yosemite is standing there with a butcher knife covered in blood. Okay? Yeah. And Chainsaw looks down further and sees Diggy lying in the tub there, quote, with the stump of a bloody arm sticking out of the bathtub.
Oh, dear Lord.
This is what you walked into.
Yeah.
Wow. This is not the party I want to go to at all. Like, fucking, gee, I know we're bikers and we're supposed to be wild, but for Christ's sake, this is a little far.
And then they go, Chainsaw, thank God you're here. We're having a bitch of a time getting this guy apart. We understand that you probably know what you're doing because your name's Chainsaw.
Your name is Chainsaw.
Actually, my last name's Black, so they called me Black and Decker, but Chainsaw sounded tougher. I've never done this before.
Actually, I'm from the Pacific Northwest. My father was a lumberjack, so all the kids, they called me just Chainsaw. It stuck when I was little. And
when I was a kid, my favorite thing was the seesaw, and the up down seesaw, and then somebody was like, that's a pussy ass biker name, we're gonna call you Chainsaw.
That's not as tough as Chainsaw. It sounds like a name he made up. Call me Chainsaw. So this is what he's seeing when he gets there. So then Bulldog uses the wood that Chainsaw brought, puts it on the fire. Then Bulldog hacks off with a big butcher knife Diggy's left hand.
Holy fuck.
Cuts it off and casually tosses it into the fireplace like it's, a receipt from something that is inconsequential. Like it's
the ribbon on a Christmas gift.
Yeah, like it's a 7-Eleven receipt, literally. Like, oh, what's that in my pocket? Oh, I bought a Slurpee 3 months ago. There we go. I haven't worn this jacket in a long time. So he then he holds up Diggy's hair, grabs his hair, holds his head up by one hand, and saws his head off with the other hand.
Dear Lord.
Just holds it up and just saws this man's head off.
Oh, man. What conversation's going on?
Casual. Literally, they're just bullshitting. This is just like, this is not a big deal. This isn't like, holy shit, terrified, we're all sweating balls. This is like, you think this head will go in the fireplace? I don't know, shit.
My God.
We going to the Eagle's Nest later? It's weird. So
I just put some Arlen Ness intake on the scooter. How about yours?
So he then he gets the head removed from the body with a butcher knife, which is not easy. You got to put some work in for that. Then he takes the head and puts it in a plastic bag, like a grocery bag.
Yeah.
And then just tosses it in the fire. So they just sit there with the living room fireplace around the hearth.
Yeah.
And,
with that earthy smell of people.
Yeah, chestnuts burning on an open fire, and chests and heads and hands.
Chests and nuts.
And nuts, all burning.
Oh, boy.
So then they throw in Diggy's clothes and his wallet also in there. They only save his driver's license. Why? I have no fucking idea. I guess maybe so they could try to pretend they're him to cash his checks. That's all I can imagine.
Yeah.
So about 4:30 a.m., the troll ends up taking the body. Troll's the guy you want to do this. He knows where to put things underground. You know what I mean? He knows a bridge to put it under. He's got a lot of... He takes the body. It's got no head or hands and puts it in Bulldog's car trunk. Bulldog also has a car here.
Sure.
So they drive around the back roads outside of the east side of Cheyenne there, finally looking for a place to dump him. Where do we put him here? Finally, they find a haystack near the Wyoming Hereford Ranch, which is down in southeastern outside of Cheyenne. It's technically Cheyenne now, but it was the middle of fucking nowhere back then. It was like it's where Alt Van would be now, like in that area. Yeah. So there they dump him, and then they clean up the car and go back home and clean up the house and pretend like Diggy never fucking died.
Never heard of him.
They continue. His checks keep coming, and it comes to Bulldog's post office box. That's where he had the address changed to. So he had his driver's license, so he would just go cash the checks.
Wow.
That's it. He would pay. What he did, though, he paid Diggy's bills and shit with his money. Yeah, so it looked like he was still alive. Mm-hmm. If he stops paying bills, that's suspicious. If he's still paying bills, he must be alive. Who's going to pay a dead guy's bills?
Right.
So they'd pay his bills and do all that shit. And according to Bulldog, quote, to make it look like he was alive so nobody started asking questions. So, yeah, they and then Bulldog with the rest would pay his rent and, have some extra money. It was about $400 left over per check after all Diggy's bills were paid. And, he said, Bulldog said he didn't know what to do with it, but he, quote, probably drank it up. I think so. He said he used part of his December check for Christmas presents. That's nice.
Can you imagine? Wow, man.
December checks, it's months that have gone by now. That he's just dead, burned him up, no problem, not worried about it. So finally, after 4 months, in January of 1986, Chainsaw has some problems here. Chainsaw needs to obtain a copy of his GED. Which if you're not
that one,
if you're not from America, that means this is what I have. It means you did not finish high school and graduate with like a cap and gown or really in any fashion at all. So you just took some test on a Saturday in a high school, gym somewhere, and they say this is the same thing as 4 years of high school. That's what it is. So there you go.
What does GED stand for?
General Equivalency Diploma.
Got it.
Which it's
or
not.
Good enough degree.
It's not. That's the old joke there. It's not. Right. It's not equivalent to anything. By the way, I got that. It's not real equivalent. So now he needed this for an apprentice training program he was trying to enter.
Yeah, because you either have to graduate high school or you have to have the equivalency. There you go.
So it's one of those. He obtained his GED. How, Jimmy? In a responsible way. He said, you know what? High school's not my thing, but I'm just going to get this diploma and move on. No. He was incarcerated in a federal penitentiary and got a GED. So he had to go to the United States Marshal's office to see if they had the information he needed. This wasn't like the state. So while he's at the U.S. Marshal's office, he's talking to a deputy marshal whom he's known for many years. Chainsaw is friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Chainsaw gets around. He's a continental cosmopolitan kind of a guy. At some point in the conversation, I don't know how this would come up casually, but it did. Chainsaw said, quote, there's dead bodies out there, and I know where they are and who put them there.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if he was trying to show off to this cop or what. So this cop went, well, Jesus Christ, and reported this conversation to his sergeant. And his sergeant is a police detective here. This sergeant makes arrangements to meet with Chainsaw on January 24th, 86. And Chainsaw spills it all, tells him everything, which is insane. Tells him everything.
The guy with the most badass nickname is the biggest stool pitch and just coughs it up.
No one even asked him about it. That's the other thing. It's not like he'll fold under questioning and, they handcuffed him to a desk for 6 hours and he couldn't take it anymore. He went to get another piece of paper and was making casual conversation. It was like, want to see a dead body? Like, he's a moron, Chainsaw.
Yeah, take it easy, River Phoenix. Stop
Fucking Chainsaw, man. Gee, we'll just got to follow the tracks. So, they find Diggy. and he's got he's decomposed pretty bad by now. But luckily, the cold Wyoming winter didn't make it, so it's not that bad. Its determined cause of death is multiple stab wounds to the thorax and upper abdomen of the body, both from the front and the rear. The internal organs were gone, quote, due to insect or animal activity. It was impossible to determine the depth of penetration of any single wound. The pathologist said, however, any one or all of the 20 stab wounds could have been fatal. So, now there's problems. Now everybody's getting arrested. Bulldog and Yosemite are arrested immediately, pretty much, because they're
of course
they're the ones who were told on here. So they get arrested, and before Bulldog is like the main guy here that they want to get.
He's the leader.
Yeah. He's the ringleader here, but they also Yosemite Brown pleads guilty to first-degree murder right away, and then Troll Davis enters a guilty plea to accessory after the fact and mutilation as well.
Yeah, shit, yeah.
They both end up testifying against Chainsaw. Or against Bulldog, I'm sorry. Sorry, right. That's the first time I mixed up nicknames this entire fucking episode. That's not bad.
It's pretty impressive, yeah.
Chainsaw also testified against Bulldog, as did Lizard, and even Sherry. Sherry came up. They all turned on Bulldog like that.
I knew it was you, Sherry. I knew it
the whole time. You're nothing but a whore. To Rossi, Sherry Rossi. So... Now, Bulldog, he pleads not guilty by reason of mental illness or deficiency. I'm crazy.
What?
I'm crazy.
Okay.
So he's examined to determine his competency to stand trial. He's examined by his own doctors. Anyway, so none of these opinions were that he was suffering from mental illness at the time of the crime. No, right. He was just a drunken asshole who felt like spending somebody's money.
And wanted $1,400 a month for free.
And he felt like doing someone else's bills. Now he had to sit down at the end of every month with more shit to do. Oh, Christ, I got to write a check for Diggy, too. This is a real pain in the ass running two people's lives. I got to tell you, I can't fucking do this anymore.
He wanted to be head of two households?
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
That sounds fucking terrible. He's got two checkbooks he's balancing. This is an awful life he's chosen for himself here. So the evidence produced at trial were that several of Diggy's checks were cashed by Bulldog, even after Diggy had been killed. Two different types of checks were involved. The first was for $500, which is the one he received right before he was killed that they were trying to get him to turn over. And another check was for $1,400, which came in the post office, and he cashed it using his ID. Yeah, the record reflects that the $500 check was connected directly to the events of October 2nd. Everyone at the party knew Diggy had the check. Imagine a group of adults, okay? First of all, 7 adults should have $500 between them if they all pulled together everything they own. Net worth. 6 people over the age of 30 should be able to muster $500. But imagine a guy has $500, not even in cash. That's like, I can take that immediately and go buy crack with it. Like, your lizard brain taking over. A check for $500 and like, we got to kill him for that. It's $500. It's not 1835. It's 1985. It's not that much money to kill Diggy Smalls for it. You know what I'm saying? So
he's Bulldog better thank his lucky stars that they got caught now, because he was about to have to do 2 people's taxes pretty soon.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Shit!
He's like, April's coming. Fuck, we gotta kill Diggy off by April. We gotta kill off the legend of Diggy.
We gotta show he's still fucking alive. Or we gotta show he's dead. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do paperwork.
I'm gonna have to fake a letter from a doctor to these companies. This is really gonna be a pain in my ass. All right, fine. All right, let's get the paperwork going. So I guess they're just in court. They're saying that he was enraged. Bulldog was enraged that the check was bloody. That's why he went and stabbed him some more and all that kind of shit. Now Bulldog testifies on his own behalf.
Yeah.
And Sherry testified that Bulldog didn't do anything to prevent the murder, which is pretty much what Bulldog said. So she went a little, because he sent her in the bedroom. So she didn't see him stabbing Diggy. So according to Sherry, he was getting stabbed a bunch. Then I went in the bedroom. Then I came out and he was dead. And they started cutting parts off him.
Right. Yeah.
So that's how it is. So the jury finds him guilty of accessory before the fact to first-degree murder, which is still murder. It's the same thing.
Is it?
Yeah, for there, because he gets, you, sir, may fuck off, life in prison. Okay. And, no parole. He's not getting out. That's that. So he appeals, saying they didn't take his mental health into consideration, but he's basically bipolar, and you can't cut people up just because you're bipolar. Like, that's not... you're not hallucinating and fucking this. He wasn't. They never even claimed to be there. He had
If you're aware that you have violent mood swings like bipolar disorder, that's your responsibility to manage that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this isn't even a violent mood swing. He was like the third guy. Was everyone there? Did everyone there? Was everyone mentally ill there that stabbed him? He was like the third guy to stab him. It was like a stabbing party. He was like a piñata they used him for. Maybe they thought his fucking Snickers bar was going to fall out of him. I'm not sure. Not positive.
Of a $1,400 check.
Yeah, there. Hey, look at that. Checks fall out of him there. So that's what they said. They used basically his appeal was it wasn't premeditation.
Yeah.
Because we didn't think about. I didn't try to get him to do the check till after. He tried to say it wasn't premeditated. The check just came up on the spur of the moment and had nothing to do with the murder, which is pretty ridiculous because the whole reason.
I mean, what's the benefit of hurting him then if it's not for money?
It makes no sense. Yeah, just to do it, just to be a dick, it doesn't make any sense. So they deny his appeals, obviously. And then in August 2019, Leland Yosemite Brown dies in prison. Here.
Really?
Yeah, he was 71 years old. He dies in prison, and he's cremated. And then in December of 2019, just a few months later, like 4 or 5 months later, Bulldog dies as well in prison.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. So
probably of a broken heart, missed his friend.
I think so. He's 63 years old. Autopsy's been ordered. Apparently he had a, quote, long-term illness. Yeah, I hear the Bulldogs they're temperamental with their health, so that makes a lot of sense.
They got a short lifespan. Yeah.
That's why they call them that.
Folds and such. Yeah.
That's why they call them that. He was very temperamental. His hips didn't work right. There's a lot of disease in his bloodlines. It just didn't work out well for him.
CPAP at night for his breathing.
Since he was 5, that seems like seems difficult, right? So he is cremated. Bulldog is cremated, and
perfect.
There you go. And he's placed in an urn above the fireplace with a porcelain dog next to it. It's going to be excellent.
Did Troll and everybody get some time too?
Everybody ended up going down for this. Some of them had plea deals to testify. The lesser participants had, but Yosemite and Bulldog are the main culprits because they were the ones who started and finished the stabbing. Yeah. So I guess the middle stabbings don't count. It's who starts the stabbing, who finishes those stabbings.
But as Billy Joel would ask, who started the fire? Because that guy's culpable too, right?
Well, they were just having a romantic night with a fire, and they just decided that's a convenient place to put somebody's body parts, and that's what they did.
Well, we mixed up and threw a hand in instead of a cedar log, and we just figured, fuck it, we got one in there. We may as well toss the rest in.
Went up like crazy, let me tell you what, buddy. So there you go. That is Wyoming. Woo! Back to Wyoming with chainsaw, troll, lizard, fucking hellhound, grandma raper, bulldog, chainsaw, Yosemite, and Sherry.
Death Fist.
And Death Fist. And there it all is, folks. So enjoy all of that. Hope it was fun. Yes, definitely check out Patreon, patreon.com/crime and sports. This week we talk about Doc Ellis and every goddamn thing that John Wayne Gacy ever said that's crazy on Small Town Murder. It's going to be crazy. Do that up and keep coming back every week. I think like that. And shit, until then, thank you. Been our pleasure.
Yeah, pulling into the station.
Oh, shit. Coming to a stop.
Huh?
If you
like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.